It's time for another garden update. I just got through filming one, but I forgot to turn my microphone on. I'm getting behind on harvesting peppers. These are the chunky sweet. Then we have other types that are pretty loaded with peppers also. For those of you who have never grown milkweed, we have some milkweed over here that have seed pods. I'll probably pull those so they won't spread anymore. This is a Midwest pom-pom pepper, some unripe peppers, and some ripe peppers. Let's walk by the garden so you can get a look at everything. Some things are getting pretty stressed by the heat. We're going to be going over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 or 5 days in a row, and I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. And we have one day that was predicted very near to 40 degrees Celsius. So it's getting pretty toasty. Other than that, things are doing pretty well. The ones that are pretty heat tolerant. I planted some beans back here, some bush beans. Don't know if they'll have time to make it or not, but we're gonna find out. Then we have an elephant garlic that's starting to produce a flower head. Thought that was pretty neat. We're getting lots of tomatoes right now. July is a great month for people who love tomatoes, and we're getting tomatoes of all types, some more than others. I just did a video where I talked about these tomatoes, and if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link down below. We've picked a lot of tomatoes off the Shimo furry here, and we still have more to pick. It looks like I've got a blister beetle right there. That's what a blister beetle looks like. They love to eat tomato foliage, potato foliage, and other plants too. I planted some late beets in this grow bag, and they're just now starting to come up. Hope they can make it past our heat. The sweet potatoes and the straw bale are starting to get down and touch the ground, and they'll be spreading in all directions. And this part over here is probably already about 2 feet past the bale. These are Midwest Otapino peppers. They're a purple pepper that's mildly hot. I mean very mildly. And next to it we have an ornamental pepper called Midwest Highlights. As orange peppers when they ripen, and they retain some of that purple, kind of a purple blush. Maybe I should call them that. I've picked quite a few tomatoes off of these two plants. These are my F1 hybrids. It's a tomato cross that I did last year. I'm really liking it a lot. It's got good taste. It produces well in the heat, almost better than any tomato, but maybe the cherries and the Shimo furry. But I hope to keep that productivity in the next generation. We'll have to see. Then right out here, right over here, a couple of days ago I came out here and I had 2 peanut plants, that one, and there was one over there next to that stake, but that one is completely gone. It was there one day and gone the next. And I already know what got it, and it's kind of frustrating because it's happened several times with other plants already this year. It's a gopher that pulls the plant down into the ground to eat it later. Then we had that clump of basil there. We had another clump of basil over here, and all that's left of that one is some tiny scraggly plants, and that got pulled down into the ground also. Over here I planted some late beans. I don't know if they'll make it or not. Those are pole beans. Then we have some cucumbers I put in the ground there. I'll have to thin those out to a couple. I've been kind of neglecting the okra. We got some really large ones there. I like them when they're really small. Way behind on my picking on those. But it's hard for me to get out in the heat. I just get to where I'm not as thrilled about gardening once it gets really hot. Our corn, it'll be ready to harvest here later this month or early next month. I pulled everything out of the green stalk planter except that one parsley plant there. Up the top, I planted some late beets. Then there's going to be lettuce in the next row. Then down here, we have some beans and some of those bush beans, and those are just coming up. And we've got some spinach, and there'll be more beans down at the bottom. Be sure to let us know how your garden's doing. And if you're just now finding this channel, please subscribe. Stay cool out there. We'll see you next time.